Hey folks, it's Ardwulf. Welcome. We have an unboxing today of something I was positive I would never be interested in or buy. I was wrong. It is Silver Bayonet. This is the fancy new edition. It's not even new. It's several years old at this point. In fact, it's 6 years old, 2016. But this was GMT's first game with Silver Bayonet, and in 2016 they did a special 25th anniversary edition of it with very fancy presentation. I read a book. It was the Max Hastings book, actually, which has problems, but it still got me interested in Vietnam. And then when I looked into this, it's operational rather than tactical, which I had made an assumption about, which therefore made it interesting to me. So this is very early on. If you've seen the movie We Were Soldiers, same period. I don't know if that battle is covered, but it's the same period. So early period of the U.S.'s involvement in direct military involvement in Vietnam. So Silver Bayonet, 25th anniversary edition. Designers Gene Billingsley and Mitchell Land. So 2-inch, very standard GMT box. Now it's a couple years old, so I'm curious, having opened a lot of GMT's recent products lately, I'm curious to see, to visit the GMT of 6 years ago and see how it compares. I'm pretty sure I won't be bitterly disappointed, but get rid of Mr. Shrink Wrap here, and let's open her up and see what we get. Tight box, very tight box. Bought this from our good friends at Enterprise Games at Origins 2022, by the way. So here is a D10. A D10, however, it is a D10 with the number 10 on it, rather than a 0. I find these very valuable. They are quite hard to find. So that is going in my special D10 with a 10 on it drawer. We do get some baggies as well. So there's going to be a lot of stuff here. So I'm just going to pull it all out of the box. Ooh, it's mounted. I didn't know we were getting a mounted map in this. I thought we were getting some kind of isomorphic thing. So let us bust out the map first, and we will perform the rest of the unboxing on the fancy mounted map. Okay, so here we have the very attractive map. It is pooching a little bit, as all GMT maps do. You can eventually work that out. But it's kind of tilted up here just because of my space at this exact moment. So, very attractive Charlie map by Charles Kibler. So, we get a rule book, which is the Silver Bayonet 25th Anniversary Edition Rules of Play. And it is full color, 40 pages, extensive bibliography, which would be great. There's an index, which is great. To be honest, GMT does not do a great job with these indexes, but, it's better to have it than not. We've got what looks like a big example of play, which is great. We've got designer's notes. We've got full color, looks like good use of color, good highlighting. Complexity on this, I don't know what it says on the box, and frankly, everybody's complex. Everybody could have their own personal complexity rating, right? And my 5 out of 10 is not necessarily going to be your 3 out of 5 or whatever. So I would say this looks like a 6 or 7 on a 1 to 10 complexity scale. That is a approximate guess based on what I have seen of it so far, which is not 0. All right, there's a battle board. Looks like this is used as some of the battles can get fairly confusing, but they involve a lot of units. Use this play to keep the battle organized. That's kind of cool. Here's the FWA player card, the Free World Alliance, that probably stands for, and the PN, that would be the People's Army of Vietnam. Hidden movement, so you got a big hidden movement board. Silver Bayonet standard sequence of play. Campaign sequence of play. The player aids are full color, and they are on medium weight cardstock. They feel pretty good. We get cards for the scenarios, which is actually pretty good. So let's look at the scenarios. So number 1, Breaking the Siege, Duck Co. I'm going to mispronounce all these names, so I apologize to any of my viewers in Vietnam. Operation All the Way, or fluent speakers of Vietnam. The Lure and the Ambush. Operation All the Way, 1st Brigade. So that's the second part of that. Here's the Drang River Valley. So this is Ya Drang, the subject of the battle of the book and film We Were Soldiers. I've seen the Mel Gibson film, and it's a very good movie. Of course, Colonel Hal Moore, don't know if he retired a colonel, but he was colonel at the time, just passed away just not that long ago, as of 2022, last couple of years anyway. Here's Operation Silver Bayonet 1, Into the Valley, Landing Zone X-Ray, pretty cool. Here's the Operation Silver. So some of these scenarios get multiple cards. A Walk in the Sun, Landing Zone Albany. Silver Bayonet 2nd Brigade, Tea Time, the Tea Plantation. So there's at least 11 scenarios here. Operation Long Beach, Operation Phan Phong. This is making me want Vietnamese food. Operation Long Reach campaign game, Operation Silver Bayonet 2. So tons of cards for the scenarios with setups on them and everything. That's a pretty nice touch. I really like that. We have more player aids. Okay. And we have what looks like the standard player aid here, which is an 11x17 fold out on what feels like the same medium weight card stock to me. Again, full color, nice illustrated TEC. Very nice to see. This should be the same thing. Yes. Okay. And then you have, I think these are screens, actually. You get 2 screens to hide your stuff. That is something very few other war games have done. Certainly you can rig screens. Pacific War is one of the only ones I can think of that has actually provided you with screens. And Pacific Wars are quite a bit bigger than these. But nevertheless, that's a nice touch and I like it a lot. So we get counters. We get a full sheet of what looks like 9/16" counters. And of course we're going to have our Vietnamese here and our US. I assume these are US. Yeah, and these are probably ARVN units, presumably, and these are I'm going by some assumptions on what the traditional wargaming colors for these factions are. These are probably US, these are probably NVA, these are probably ARVN, and these are probably Viet Cong. So, and then we get a second half sheet of the same size counters. Again, looks like 9/16" counters, and I certainly do not see anything resembling registration problems or anything like that. I can already feel these are going to come out pretty easily. So I think what is going to become a standard question for my wargaming and maybe even other unboxing videos is, especially with those games with mounted maps, is can I get all the stuff back in the box with a counter tray? Let us answer that question. So this is all the materials back in the box except for the counter sheets, and one counter tray fits perfectly into the box. And with a counter sheet and a half, one counter tray should represent basically no problem. It just occurred to me that this particular counter tray has a loose lid. That is not GMT's problem. Counter sheet and a half, I can easily get into one tray. That's not going to be a problem at all. So I will be able to comfortably support storage of this game. Don't be terribly shocked if you see future content on Vietnam war games from me, although I feel at this point that I have all of the necessary ones, meaning this, and I have the fabulous Hot Dry Season from Legion War Games on pre-order. Please do check that out. It needs a little bit of help making its pre-order number from Legion War Games. It is a fantastic game. This looks good too. So can't wait to get this to the table. And of course I do have the Victory Games Vietnam and the reprint from GMT that's relatively recent, and that looks really nice too. Please check out the video if you're interested. So thanks for watching. If you have found the video of use, please do give it a thumbs up. Please do subscribe to the channel, and if you'd like to help support the channel, there's links to that in the video description. I'd like to thank all of the patrons of Ardwulf's Lair for helping to make this kind of content and the other content that we do here possible. Thank you so much, patrons. And once again, thanks for watching and happy wargaming.